This is Jared Parry for Boxing Social in association with freebets.com, Forged Irish Stout and Empire Fight Store. Delighted to be joined by Spencer Oliver here in Cardiff. Launch press conference, Jessica McCaskill versus Lauren Price. Big fight, looking forward to it?
Yeah, huge fight, mate. It's good to have big time boxing back down here in Wales, actually. I mean, it takes me back to the Joe Calzaghe days and what memorable nights they were, and I'm expecting a good turnout, actually. 5,000 seat arena here for Lauren Price, who's been a phenomenal athlete. You know, when you look at what she's achieved, this girl, going back to world kickboxing champion, Olympic gold medalist, played in the Champions League at Cardiff City. I mean, 52 caps for her country. What can't this girl do? You know what I mean? Like, what can't she achieve? And she go 6 fights in, 7 fights, she's boxing for a world unified title. Not just that, but she's up against a formidable opponent as well in Jessica McCaskill. People will remember Jessica from boxing over in England, you know, when she boxed at the York Hall actually against Katie Taylor and put up a memorable performance there. More recently against Sandy Ryan, that controversial draw, but we know that what she does. She's rough, she's tough, she brings the fight, and she's great, and entertainment. She really fancies this. She fancies the job. She's looking forward to boxing down here in Cardiff. But huge night, yeah, it really is a huge night for Lauren Price. I'm looking forward to this actually.
You were saying there about Lauren's achievements outside the ring as well as inside the ring in the amateur game, in football, in kickboxing. You know, do you think that that is going to be a massive catalyst of why these big nights should be back in Wales?
Absolutely, I think that, the Welsh love their sport, not just their boxing, but they love their sport, down football, rugby, they're passionate about their sport. And when you get someone of Lauren's pedigree that's achieved what she's achieved, they'll get behind her and they'll support that. She hasn't boxed here for the best part of 10 years now, so it's a big homecoming as well. And if you think like what this girl has achieved, across all sports, but even in the boxing ring, you go, they'll get behind her and they'll want to support her, and I think that is important. Like I said, yeah, it's an important moment, really is.
So in terms of bringing her home, coming back to Wales, obviously they haven't come back with a small fight. It's Jessica McCaskill. She's been in with Katie Taylor, Cecilia Breakhouse, Chantel Cameron, to name a few. And then Lauren Price in her 7th fight is fighting McCaskill for a world title, her first shot at a world title, and there's 3 on the line in the IBO, WBA and the Ring Magazine. Just what a fight to bring back, isn't it?
Absolutely, it's huge, man. Like, it really is huge, and the potential of what Lauren can get if she goes and wins this title. You got people like Natasha Jonas, who's been another great pioneer for women's sport, women's boxing, and what Natasha has achieved and all that. And you go, Lauren then puts herself in the position in those fights, and we could see some unifications, stepping up in weight, stepping down in weight. That's what the women do. They take the politics away from the sport. The best box the best. There's not that pool of fighters there, but when you look at the elite fighters, you go, the quality is there, man. And Lauren Price is one of the the best that we've got, without a doubt. So this huge opportunities, huge nights, but a tough night on May the 11th.
Obviously, if you were to look past this fight, like if you didn't have a winner, but for the winner, they've got within the boxer stable, you've got Natasha Jonas, who also could rematch Michaela Mayer after how close their fight was back in January. Obviously, if Lauren was to come through, there would be a domestic clash also on the line then against Sandy Ryan. Then that would be a rematch for McCaskill if McCaskill came through. There's a lot of interesting stories that come off the back of how this fight goes.
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying to you. Like, there's a lot of opportunity. You're talking this. So you got to mention Chantel Cameron. She's in the mix there as well. They're future opponents, possibilities. Because, like I say, the girls do jump through the weights. Katie Taylor's at lightweight. Could she go up? Could she? Could Lauren come down? It's like there's loads of opportunities. What I'm saying, that when you look at the elite level and the talent that's around and the way the girls fluctuate between the weights, there's huge nights out there for them. Huge nights for Lauren Price, definitely. But this is a tough task, man. Like, I think that McCaskill will be banking on Lauren taking this opportunity too soon and using her experience to get her through. Because, like you say, she's been there, seen it, done it. She's been around. She's been there. It's been tough. So it's an intriguing fight, man. Yeah.
So I want to take it away a bit from this fight, and I want to talk about what we saw on Friday night. Anthony Joshua is back. He defeated Francis Ngannou with one of the most destructive second-round KOs a lot of people have ever seen. Just what's your thoughts on all that?
Yeah, come on, Joshua. Like, you know what I mean? I just went, fingers up to all the haters, because there was a lot of them out there, by the way. A lot of people to criticise, a lot of people saying that he's finished, he can't come back, he's mentally destroyed, the physicalities are not there anymore, all of that bullshit. And I was like, one of the only guys that stuck with it and was still a believer and thinking that he could come back, and he has come back, and he's come back in a big way. You know, you talk about Tyson Fury, anti-Joshua, that fight ever happening. You looked at it 12 months ago, you go, that's a 80% favour of Tyson Fury winning that contest. Now, that's a 50-50 fight. Joshua, his journey over the last 12 months has been incredible. You know, when you go back to him getting defeated by Usyk, and everyone writing him off saying he's finished, he's damaged goods, he can't come back, that psychological damage you can't overcome. Then you go like Jermaine Franklin, you go when the performance weren't that great, then you fast forward and you go Hellenius, and you're going, come on Josh, let your shots go, mate. Steps in 7th round, boom, show real knockout, what was needed, added more confidence. So it's been a constructive build, you know, like over the last 12 months. Then we got Otto 1 in, you go, now Joshua looks like he's back to his best, he's starting to believe in himself, he's stepping in with his shots, you know, he's letting the shots go instead of throwing the shots and leaning away from the punches. And then last time against Ngannou, and I hate it when people go, yeah, but he was 0-1. You go, yeah, but that fight he lost, a lot of people thought he won. And by the way, it was the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, the guy that the person that everyone's saying is the best of the modern era. He pushed Tyson to the wire. So Joshua was always in a lose-lose situation, as in if he beat Ngannou on points, then it was a shit performance. If he got knocked out by Ngannou, he's finished. Right, if he gets Ngannou out of there 6-7 rounds, well, he was expected, you know, he's only had one fight and he lost it. So he was always going to lose, unless he went out there and absolutely iced the geezer and dismantled him, and that's exactly what he done. He went out there and it was brutal. It was a brilliant performance, man. And I'm glad that he done that, Joshua, because he's put his name right back up there.
But where does Joshua go next from here? Because obviously we got the big fight May 18th, Fury Usyk for the Undisputed, but then there's a chance the belt's become fragmented. There's a lot to with Filip Hrgović. Joseph Parker's put himself right back in the mix with the Zhilei Zhang victory. You know, if you were in Joshua's shoes, where do you go next?
Well, he's going to sit and wait now, isn't he? We've got the Undisputed going on, which is, you know, I'm really pleased that is happening. I'm pleased that Tyson Fury's, going to be able to fight, because the cut was a big worry. It was a big cut. But, hopefully his training and his preparations are going well. We get that Undisputed fight, Usyk versus Fury. Love Fury to win that fight so that we could get the showdown with Fury versus Anthony Joshua. But then Usyk's got that rematch clause in there as well. Where does Joshua go in between that? Does it, like, if they have the Undisputed fight, and here's one for you, what if they have the Undisputed fight? Now, I don't know what the position is with the mandatories of all the other titles. They have but I do know with the IBF becomes vacant straight away after that because they can't fulfil the mandatories. Filip Hrgović is the number 1, Anthony Joshua's number 2, so they box for the vacant belt. So you keeping up with this? They box for the vacant IBF belt. I'm not sure what happens with Fury's other belts, and Joshua wins that fight. Then could we get the Undisputed again? So we have 2 Undisputed fights back to back with Joshua versus Fury. Just putting it out there. I'm not sure whether that's right or not, but what I'm saying is, I think that Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury is very near in coming. We'll see how it all lands, but credit where credit's due to Joseph Parker. What a performance there. He showed a lot of balls again. Love Parker, and the resurgence of Joseph Parker as well over the last 18 months has been incredible. When you go back to the Joe Joyce fight and the Joe Joyce defeat, and you see the way that he's come back, and beating Deontay Wilder, beating Zhang, where he's been the underdog twice. I'm so pleased for that as well, because he's a great advocate for boxing. He's what it's all about, man. You know what I mean? Like, he puts his heart and soul into it, and I think that it was a brilliant performance, man, and a well-deserved victory.
On that week in Saudi Arabia, there was a couple of wild rumours and fights that were being talked about. So I'm going to start with the first one that actually had a face-off out there in Saudi Arabia. Conor Benn, Manny Pacquiao faced off. What's your thoughts if that was to come next?
Well, the situation with Conor Benn needs to be resolved with the British Boxing Board of Control. We still haven't resolved that. I mean, I know they had the hearing. Well, I don't know why it's taking so long to get the results back from that, but it is what it is. I don't know what the process is with that. But we want to see Conor Benn in a real fight, don't we? Manny Pacquiao, he's my age, I think. He was boxing when I was boxing anyway. I know he's in his 40s, like well in his 40s, isn't he? So I get it. I understand it from the business side of things. I get that. I totally get it from the commercial and business side of things, but if you're serious, mate, and you're calling out Terence, Crawford and Devin Haney and these sort of names, let's get a credible opponent. Like, to me, a guy coming out of retirement, when was the last time he boxed? 2019, I'd say? I understand it's a money fight maybe, but not a fight you particularly want to see.
Another one that got a lot of headlines, Chris Eubank Jr. and Terence Crawford are apparently close to a deal. Big thing that everyone's talking about there is they're both trained by Brian McIntyre. What's your thoughts on, firstly, the fight, and secondly, that perspective, having both trained by the same trainer?
I understand the game from the business point of view. Like, it's probably the biggest fight for Chris Eubank Jr. out there. Like, and it's a fight that he'll feel that he'll win because he competes at 160. Terence Crawford will be moving up from 147 to 160. So I totally understand that. Eubank will be going, yes, please. I'm going to get well paid for this, and this guy's a lot smaller than me, and I think I can beat him. From Terence Crawford's point of view, Crawford's thinking, well, we know what the end goal is for Crawford. He wants Canelo. And then, you know, he's going to have to move up there, to 168 to box Canelo. So you need to develop into that. He's looking at the landscape and where it lies. Who's well positioned in the WBO rankings, WBA rankings, WBC rankings? Chris Eubank Jr. So he's going, well, I'm going to take that gamble, jump up to 160, beat Eubank. I'll get well positioned in the rankings there, could go and win a world middleweight title, and then he gets his ultimate goal. By that time, Canelo's got that little bit older as well, and it's a fight that sort of makes sense. So it's a calculated gamble from Terence Crawford. I understand why he's doing it, because when people mention this, they're like, why the fuck would Terence Crawford jump up and box Chris Eubank Jr.? Well, that's the reason why, because the end goal is Canelo. And so he sees Chris Eubank Jr. as the perfect person before he steps up there, and it gives him opportunities at middleweight as well because of Eubank Jr.'s rankings. But Chris has got other ideas, man. Chris will go, yeah, listen, yes, please, let's have that fight. So that's why the fight will happen.
The final one is the one that probably gathered the much attention, but it's mainly because no one really knows what to expect. Mike Tyson and Jake Paul on about fighting each other. Yeah,
just one word, mate. Sad. Very sad. You don't want to see Mike Tyson. He's an icon, right? So we got like generations of kids walking around with Mike Tyson t-shirts on. People know who he is. He put his names up there with like your Muhammad Ali's. What I'm saying is they are icons. Do we want to see a 57-year-old man that smokes weed like I don't know what? Right? He's got his cannabis farm. He lives a terrible life. We've seen him recently on crutches. You know, the guy's in a bad spot. I don't want to see him back in the ring fighting a young YouTuber who wants to make a name for himself, saying he beat a modern-day legend. So I understand it from a financial point of view, but not something I particularly want to see. I did hear, by the way, that it possibly head guards and big gloves and an exhibition. I'm happy with that. Do that. I totally understand that, but I don't want to see him getting in there and God forbid he got knocked out by Jake Paul with small gloves on and no head guards, because his day's been and gone and he's created his legacy, and I don't want to see it.
Brilliant. I'm sure there's quite a lot of people out there who agree with you on that one, Spencer. Cheers, but mate. Thank you very much for talking to us here at Boxing Social, and all the best. We'll catch up with you soon.
Thanks, mate.